What I'm about to show you could change the next blood pressure number you see on your monitor, and it could change it faster than you think. Because right now, somewhere in America, a senior is taking blood pressure medicine every morning, doing what the doctor said, and still watching those numbers stay stubbornly high. And what scares me is this: many of those people are not failing treatment. Treatment is failing because of 5 simple things happening at home every single day. Things so common, so ordinary, so easy to miss. They quietly cancel out the very medicine that's supposed to protect your heart, your brain, and your kidneys. I'm Dr. Michael Paint, and after more than 2 decades caring for hearts, I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Blood pressure medication works best when your daily routine stops fighting against it. Most seniors never hear that clearly enough. They think the pill is the whole treatment. It isn't. The pill is one part of the treatment. Your kitchen is part of the treatment. Your schedule is part of the treatment. Your sleep is part of the treatment. Even your morning habits are part of the treatment. And when those parts are working against each other, your blood pressure can stay elevated even when you're trying to do everything right. Before we begin, please subscribe to my channel for heart-saving advice made especially for seniors who want healthier years ahead. Now stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know the 5 easiest ways to help your medicine lower blood pressure more effectively at home. Not extreme hacks, not miracle cures, not dangerous internet nonsense. I'm talking about practical, medically sound steps seniors in places like Ohio, Texas, Arizona, and Florida can start using right away. And the number one method I'm saving for last is the one that surprises people most, because it doesn't look powerful at all. But I've seen it change blood pressure logs so dramatically that it altered treatment decisions, prevented medication increases, and in some cases kept people out of the emergency room. Before we get to number 5, I need you to understand one critical truth. Because everything else depends on it. If your blood pressure is high, you should never stop, reduce, double, or switch your medication on your own. Not after one good reading. Not after one bad reading. Not because a neighbor swears beet juice fixed him. Not because a video online promised a natural cure in 3 days. High blood pressure can injure your body silently for years. So the goal of this video is not to replace your medicine. The goal is to help your medicine work better, more safely, and more predictably right there at home. Let me tell you about Carol from Columbus, Ohio, because her story reveals the trap so many seniors fall into. Carol was 71, retired, organized, responsible, and terrified by the numbers she kept seeing on her blood pressure monitor. Every morning she took her medicine with breakfast. Every evening she checked her pressure, and every evening there it was again. 154/88, then 158/90, then 160/92. She thought the medication had stopped working. Her doctor considered adding another drug. Carol felt like she was losing control. But the truth was much simpler, and once we found it, her numbers began to come down. Carol wasn't dealing with a mystery disease, and she wasn't a medical failure. She was dealing with an ordinary American routine that quietly pushed her blood pressure upward every day. High sodium canned soup at lunch, not enough walking, poor sleep, 1 glass of wine, becoming 2, and a blood pressure pill she sometimes took at different times depending on what her morning looked like. None of those things felt dramatic. None of them felt dangerous. But together, they were enough to keep her pressure elevated. That's why this video matters. Blood pressure doesn't rise only because of age. It rises because daily habits either support treatment or sabotage it. So let's begin with number 5. And this one is the foundation under everything else. Number 5 is taking your blood pressure medicine at the same time every day and building a system so you stop missing doses without realizing it. I know that sounds almost too simple, but I want you to hear me carefully. A great many seniors are not deliberately skipping pills. They're delaying them, forgetting them, taking them too close together, taking them late one day and early the next, or running out for 2 or 3 days because the refill got lost in the shuffle. And blood pressure absolutely responds to that inconsistency. Let me tell you about Frank in Sarasota, Florida, 76 years old, former Navy mechanic, sharp as a tack. Frank swore he never missed his medication, never, but his blood pressure log looked like a roller coaster. Some mornings he was 128/76, other mornings he was 151/84. His doctor was getting ready to increase his medicine. Then Frank's daughter visited for a week and noticed something. On golf days, he took the pill at 6 a.m. On normal days, it was 9 a.m. On Sundays after church, sometimes noon. And once or twice a month, when the prescription bottle was low, he stretched doses until the refill came in. That kind of inconsistency matters more than most people realize, because many blood pressure medicines work best when your body receives them on a stable rhythm. Your blood pressure isn't a fixed number, it's a moving target that changes throughout the day. So when your medicine schedule keeps changing, your control keeps changing. And here's the part that misleads people. You may still feel fine. High blood pressure often gives you no warning at all, no pain, no alarm bell, no flashing red light. So seniors assume the schedule drift isn't important. But inside the body, those missed hours can mean less protection for the heart, brain, kidneys, and blood vessels. The solution is beautifully simple, and I want you to think of it as building a guardrail for your future self. Tie your medicine to one fixed daily event you almost never miss. Brushing your teeth, making coffee, feeding the dog, or sitting down for breakfast. Use a weekly pill organizer. Set one phone alarm. Keep refills ordered before the bottle gets low. And if side effects are making you avoid the medicine, say that out loud to your doctor. Dizziness, swelling, frequent urination, fatigue, cough, all of that matters. The right response is not silent suffering. The right response is adjustment with your medical team. Now let's move to number 4, because this is where many seniors unknowingly erase part of the benefit of their medication every time they open the pantry. Number 4 is cutting the hidden sodium that's keeping your blood pressure elevated even while you take medicine faithfully. Most people think sodium comes from the salt shaker. It doesn't, not mainly. In the United States, a huge amount of sodium comes from packaged soups, deli meats, frozen dinners, canned foods, restaurant meals, sauces, crackers, breads, and those little convenience foods that look harmless because they're sold as easy, light, or senior-friendly. Your medicine may be lowering pressure, while your lunch quietly pushes it back up. This is exactly what happened to Linda in St. Louis, Missouri, age 69, recently widowed, living alone, trying to simplify her life. Linda took her medication exactly as prescribed. She didn't smoke. She wasn't eating fast food every day. She honestly believed she was making smart choices. Her typical lunch was canned chicken noodle soup, 6 saltine crackers, half a turkey sandwich, and a pickle. That felt modest. It felt reasonable. It even felt a little old-fashioned and healthy. But when we added up the sodium, lunch alone was flooding her system with far more sodium than she realized. Her medicine wasn't broken. Her meals were overwhelming it. Here's what sodium does. And this is the part seniors need explained clearly. Sodium helps your body hold on to fluid. More fluid in the bloodstream means more pressure inside the blood vessels. That's a simplification, yes, but it's the practical truth. So if you take a blood pressure pill in the morning and then eat sodium-heavy foods all day, you're asking the medication to swim upstream. And the cruel part is that processed foods often don't taste extremely salty. Bread doesn't scream salt. Canned soup doesn't always scream danger. Deli turkey sounds lean. But sodium hides in foods that fit beautifully into the American retirement routine. So what should you do at home? Starting today. Read labels. Compare brands. Choose lower sodium soups, lower sodium broths, no salt added canned beans, unsalted nuts, plain oatmeal, fresh fruit, yogurt, eggs, and simple home-cooked meals more often. If you love soup, make a big pot yourself and freeze portions. If you buy bread, compare sodium per slice. If you eat turkey, choose fresh roasted turkey over processed deli slices when you can. Use garlic, pepper, onion powder, lemon, parsley, paprika, and herbs instead of reaching automatically for salt. These changes sound small. In real life, they can meaningfully lower blood pressure and make medication work better. But there's something else I want to add here. Because seniors deserve nuance, not oversimplified advice. You may hear people say, just eat more potassium. That can help some people because potassium can blunt sodium's effects. Foods like bananas, beans, spinach, sweet potatoes, yogurt, and avocados may be helpful. But if you have kidney disease or if you're on certain medications, you absolutely need to ask your doctor before pushing potassium higher or using salt substitutes. This is why smart blood pressure care is never just a list of trends. It's medicine plus daily habits plus the reality of your own body. Now, number three is the easiest one to underestimate because it sounds almost too gentle to matter. Number three is walking consistently, especially after meals, and building movement into your week so your blood vessels stop living in a constant state of stiffness. I am not telling you to become a marathon runner. I am not telling a 74-year-old in Nebraska with arthritis to start training like a college athlete. I'm talking about safe, steady, moderate activity, the kind most seniors can do with the right plan. And the reason it works is that movement trains the cardiovascular system to function with less strain. Let me tell you about Robert in Mesa, Arizona, 73 years old, former truck driver, proud grandfather, absolutely convinced exercise advice didn't apply to him anymore. Robert was taking 2 blood pressure medications, and his numbers were still running high. Not crisis high, but stubbornly high. He said, "Doc, I did enough walking in my life already." What he meant was he was tired, a little heavy around the middle, and most days after retirement he spent long hours sitting, watching television, reading, driving short distances, resting after meals. It felt earned. It felt normal. But his circulation was paying the price for that stillness. We started with something so modest it almost sounded silly, and that was the genius of it. A 10-minute walk after lunch, another 10 after dinner. On good days, a little more. On bad days, just around the block or inside the mall. No heroics, no guilt, no athletic fantasy. After 6 weeks, Robert's blood pressure improved. After 3 months, he had more stamina, slept better, and had trimmed enough waistline to change the conversation at his next visit. Movement helped his medication do its job. Because exercise doesn't just burn calories, it improves vessel function, helps weight control, lowers stress, and supports better overall pressure regulation. And I need to be very clear here, because some seniors stop listening when exercise sounds intimidating. Walking counts, chair exercises count, light resistance bands count, climbing stairs slowly counts if it's safe for you, gardening counts, water aerobics count, dancing in the living room counts. The American life has trained many older adults to think exercise only matters if it looks impressive. That's nonsense. What matters is consistency. A little done regularly is more powerful than a lot done once and abandoned. Your blood pressure doesn't reward grand intentions. It rewards repeated behavior. That's why the easiest movement plan is usually the one that actually lowers the numbers. There is another hidden benefit to movement, and this one matters especially after 60. Even modest activity helps with weight around the abdomen, and abdominal weight is strongly connected with blood pressure problems. It also helps with blood sugar, cholesterol, and sleep quality. In other words, one daily walk can improve several things that all push on blood pressure from different directions. That's why I love practical plans. A senior in Des Moines may not feel ready for a gym membership, but that same person may absolutely be able to walk the hallway of their apartment building after breakfast and dinner. And yes, that can begin changing the trend. Now we come to number 2. And if you're not expecting this one, I understand, because most people still underestimate how powerfully nighttime habits affect daytime blood pressure. Number 2 is protecting your sleep and stopping the evening routine that quietly raises blood pressure while you think you're unwinding. Poor sleep, too little sleep, alcohol too close to bedtime, stress-filled television late at night, and even untreated sleep apnea can all keep blood pressure higher than it should be. So, a person wakes up, takes medication faithfully, and still runs high. They blame the pill. But the real damage was being done every night in the bedroom. Let me tell you about Beverly in Fort Worth, Texas. 72 years old, elegant, funny, disciplined, and exhausted. Beverly took her blood pressure medicine every morning like clockwork. She also had a nightly routine that felt comforting. 2 glasses of wine while watching cable news, a salty snack, then bed after midnight. She slept about 5 or 6 hours, woke up tired, and needed strong coffee to get moving. Her blood pressure kept creeping higher. She thought she needed another medication. But what Beverly really needed was to stop treating her nervous system like it was supposed to settle itself after being revved up every single evening. Sleep is not passive downtime. It's a biological repair shift. During healthy sleep, the cardiovascular system gets a chance to reset. Blood pressure normally dips, stress hormones settle, the body recovers. But if sleep is short, fragmented, or poor in quality, that reset doesn't happen well. And if alcohol is part of the picture, it becomes even trickier. Some seniors think alcohol helps them sleep because it makes them drowsy. It may help them fall asleep, yes, but it often worsens sleep quality and can push blood pressure up. So the evening glass of wine that feels soothing may actually be part of tomorrow morning's high reading. Beverly changed 5 things, and none of them were extreme. She cut the second glass of wine. She moved television off 30 minutes earlier. She stopped eating salty snacks late at night. She started a simple wind-down routine with dim lights, calm music, and a consistent bedtime. And because her snoring was severe, she finally agreed to get evaluated for sleep apnea. Within weeks, her home readings improved. Not because we found magic, but because we removed pressure-raising behaviors stacked into the same few evening hours. When older adults protect sleep, blood pressure often stops acting so unpredictable, and medication response becomes more consistent. And while we're talking about nighttime sabotage, I need to warn you about something many seniors never connect to blood pressure at all: over-the-counter medications, decongestants for colds, frequent ibuprofen or naproxen for aches, some supplements, some energy products. Even things marketed as harmless relief can push blood pressure upward or interfere with control. I've seen seniors in Pennsylvania and California do everything right, then spend 2 weeks taking a decongestant for sinus pressure, and wonder why their numbers suddenly jumped. This is why every pill counts, not just the prescription. Your doctor and pharmacist need to know the full picture, because your heart lives in the full picture. So if you want a better evening routine, make it boring in the best possible way. Lighter dinner, less sodium, less alcohol, less doom scrolling, less stimulating television right before bed, more consistency, more darkness, more calm. Aim for a sleep schedule your body can trust. And if you're always tired, snore heavily, wake gasping, or fight sleepiness through the day, say that to your doctor. Untreated sleep apnea is incredibly common and absolutely connected to stubborn high blood pressure. Many seniors chase stronger medications when the real missing treatment is better breathing and better sleep. Never ignore that possibility. Now we have arrived at number 1, and this is the one I promised would surprise you. Number 1 is measuring your blood pressure correctly at home and using those readings to help your doctor fine-tune medicine instead of making decisions based on chaotic, misleading numbers. I know. You were expecting the number 1 trick to be some special food or secret exercise, but hear me out. If your readings are wrong, then every decision built on those readings can be wrong too. The right medicine might look ineffective. A dose that is actually working might be increased unnecessarily, and anxiety can start running the whole show. Let me tell you about George in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 78 years old, disciplined, proud, independent. George checked his blood pressure every morning. He did it right after walking in from the driveway with the trash can, with a full bladder, while the television was on, cuff over his flannel shirt, feet crossed, and then he panicked over the number. Again and again, he saw readings in the 160s. He became convinced his medication had failed. He was frightened. His daughter was frightened. Everyone was ready for more medicine, but when we corrected the way he measured and repeated the readings calmly, the story changed completely. This matters because home monitoring isn't just about collecting numbers. It's about collecting trustworthy numbers. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Empty your bladder first. No caffeine, exercise, or smoking for 30 minutes before. Sit with back supported, feet flat, legs uncrossed. Rest the arm at heart level. Use a proper upper arm cuff on bare skin. Don't talk. Take 2 readings 1 or 2 minutes apart. Do this the same times each day, often morning and evening if your doctor wants that. Suddenly the log becomes useful. Suddenly your doctor can see patterns. Suddenly your medicine can be adjusted intelligently instead of emotionally. And here's the deeper truth, the one almost nobody explains to seniors well enough. Good home readings do more than tell you where you are. They reveal what is helping and what is hurting. They show whether your low sodium week mattered. They show whether your evening alcohol reduction helped. They show whether missed doses are causing drift. They show whether a new over-the-counter medication pushed you upward. They show whether your doctor needs to change the dose, the timing, or the medication class itself. Home blood pressure done right is not busy work. It is one of the most powerful tools you have for helping medicine become precise. Let me show you how all 5 of these work together. Because this is where people finally understand why blood pressure control feels impossible until it suddenly doesn't. You take your medicine consistently, you lower hidden sodium, you move your body most days. You protect sleep and avoid evening sabotage. You measure correctly and keep a simple log. None of these alone is flashy, but together they do something remarkable. They remove friction. They stop your daily habits from fighting your treatment. And when that friction disappears, medication often works the way it was supposed to work in the first place. That is where real control begins. I want to go back to Carol from Columbus for a moment, because her story ties everything together beautifully. We didn't discover one dramatic error, we discovered 5 ordinary ones. She started taking her medicine at the same time each morning. She swapped canned soup and deli lunches for simpler, lower sodium meals. She began walking after dinner with her neighbor around the block. She cut late evening television and got more regular sleep. And she learned how to measure her blood pressure correctly. 8 weeks later, her numbers were not perfect every single day, but they were consistently lower, calmer, and finally making sense. And that's another point I need seniors to hear, because perfectionism hurts people. Blood pressure is not supposed to look identical every hour of every day. If you check carefully and get 128 one day, 134 the next, 130 after that, that is not failure. That is physiology. What we're looking for is trend, not robotic sameness. So don't turn this into another source of worry. Turn it into a structure, a rhythm, a quiet daily system that protects you. Seniors do best when the plan is simple enough to repeat, because repetition, not intensity, is what lowers risk over the long haul. But we also need to talk about danger, because I never want reassurance to become complacency. If your blood pressure is severely high, or if you have symptoms like chest pain, shortness of breath, new weakness, severe headache, trouble speaking, confusion, or vision changes, that's not the moment for homemade strategies. That is urgent medical territory. And on the other side, if you feel faint, unusually weak, very dizzy, or unsteady after medication changes, that matters too, especially for seniors at risk of falls. Good blood pressure care is not about toughness. It's about respect for what those numbers can mean when the body is speaking clearly. So let me give you the full roadmap one more time. Because if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Number 5, take your blood pressure medicine at the same time every day and build a system so missed doses stop happening. Number 4, reduce hidden sodium, especially from packaged and restaurant foods. Number 3, move consistently, even if it starts with 10-minute walks. Number 2, protect your sleep and stop letting evenings drive your pressure upward. Number 1, measure blood pressure correctly at home so your doctor can guide medication with real information, not noise. That is the blueprint. Simple, powerful, repeatable. If you're sitting here thinking, "Doctor, this sounds manageable, but I'm overwhelmed," I want you to breathe with me for a second. You do not have to fix all 5 tonight. Start with 1. 1. Pick the easiest win. Maybe it's a pill organizer, maybe it's a lower sodium soup, maybe it's a 10-minute walk after lunch, maybe it's turning off the television 30 minutes earlier, maybe it's learning the right way to check your pressure tomorrow morning. Small steps lower blood pressure because small steps get repeated, and repeated steps become habits, and habits over time become protection you can actually feel in your life. The biggest tragedy I see in older adults is not lack of intelligence, it's lack of clear guidance. Seniors are often told, watch your pressure, take your meds, eat better, move more, and that's it. No one explains how those pieces lock together. No one explains why the same medication can look weak in one routine and effective in another. No one explains that your kitchen, your recliner, your hallway, your television habits, your bedtime, and your blood pressure monitor are all part of treatment. But they are. And once you see that clearly, you stop feeling helpless and start becoming strategic. That is exactly what happened to Robert in Arizona, Beverly in Texas, Frank in Florida, Linda in Missouri, and Carol in Ohio. And it can happen for you too. Not because they became younger, not because they got lucky, not because they found a miracle. They got better data, better routines, better consistency. Their medicine finally had a fair chance to work, and when that happened, fear started loosening its grip. They stopped chasing random answers. They stopped assuming every high reading meant disaster. They became calmer because the plan was calmer. That peace matters more than people realize, especially after 60. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Not next week, not someday, but today. Look at your pill routine. Look at your pantry. Look at your walking habit. Look at your bedtime. Look at your blood pressure technique. Find the easiest leak in the system and close it. Then close the next one. Your heart does not need a perfect life, it needs a steadier one. Your arteries do not need dramatic promises, they need less strain, day after day. And your future self, the one who wants more birthdays, more independence, more mornings that feel strong, is depending on what you choose now. If this helped you, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a senior in your life who's taking blood pressure medicine and wondering why the numbers still won't behave. Because sometimes the answer isn't stronger treatment. Sometimes the answer is stopping the hidden resistance happening at home, and that can be life-changing. Your blood pressure may be silent, but it is never meaningless. Listen to it carefully, treat it wisely, give your medicine the support it deserves, and give yourself the best chance to protect your heart, your brain, your kidneys, and your independence for many years to come. I'll see you in the next video.